Hello Bambinos, I've got something a little bit different for you today. I've been playing in Season 9 of the PWC, which is a NatDex Draft League played on Showdown. It's actually the first league I ever played in, way back. I think it was the end of Gen 7 or early Gen 8, I don't remember. I remember I had a Mega Alakazam, so that's what makes me think it's Gen 7. It could have been early Gen 8, I don't know. It was my first dip of the toes into Draft League back in Season 4 of the PWC. And I actually made it to the final and lost, came second. Sad, but not a bad first outing. I did play in like Season 5, and then I haven't been around since, and the new owner, who was around back then anyway, channel, messaged me and said, we're coming back for Season 9, do you fancy making a comeback? And I thought, sure, yeah, I've got not too many leagues on at the moment, and it's a bit more casual playing on Showdown for me, like being a Wi-Fi player, not having to gen and stuff. It's just a little bit of fun on the side, and it was just after the last DLC dropped, the Teal Mask. There are some new mons I wanted to test out, so I was going to use this as a bit of a testing round for my Wi-Fi drafts. So I was like, sure, I'll do this. There's a bit of a gimmick to this league as well, which I like, in that you have to draft a mascot. It's like a captain. And you have to take that mascot to every match, no matter the matchup. You have to bring it, and it has to be a low tier. I think it was under 8 points from like an 18-point board. Your captain had to be under 8 points and drafted round 1, which is crazy. So round 1, everyone had to pick a mon under 8 points, and that mon is the only mon on your team that can Terra, and it has to come to every game. I actually got the bottom wheel, which I think is probably the best pick in the draft, because not only did I get like to pick Frostmoth, which I thought was amazing. Frostmoth is my mascot, my Terra captain. It's a great mon to be able to Terra, losing 2 X4 weaknesses on a Quiver Dance sweeper. Very cool mon. And then I get first pick of like the regular board, which is crazy. And I of course I swept up Dragapult. I didn't really get to use it much in Gen 8, so I thought I'd use it now. And yeah, and then my draft went on from there. You can see my picks right there. I wanted to try one of the Ogopons, which I managed to pick up, which is nice, the Ogopon Cornerstone. One of the Toxic Trio, I picked up Pheasantipity. I thought it was a pretty cool one I wanted to try. And also, I know Samurott Hazui isn't from the Teal Mask, but I hadn't had a chance to draft it since it's been available in Gen 9, so Samurott Hazui was another one I wanted to try out. So that's the team I've got right there. I did have like Hitmontop earlier in the season, but I traded it out for Hariyama because I just wanted a bit more power behind my fighting type. And I had some other shit steel type. I think I like downgraded to get Hariyama and then upgraded my steel type to Bronzong. And Bronzong actually turned out to be really good for me this season. But yeah, that is the team I drafted. And then we played the season. I actually went 4-4, which isn't great, really, by my own standards. But I think 2 of my losses, I like just straight up got outplayed, can't complain. And then 2 of my losses were very, very hacksy. I can say with confidence that one of them I definitely would have won if it wasn't for the hacks. And then the other one, I can't say I definitely would have won, but so much hacks happened so early in the game that it was kind of almost impossible for me to pull it back from that point. It wasn't really like a fair crack at that match. So I think 5-3 or 6-2 is a more fair reflection of my season. But this is what happened in the end. I finished 7th seed, and what happened then in playoffs, this is like 10th and above make playoff, and then 7 through 10 have to play an extra round of playoffs. So me finishing 7th seed had to play the 10th seed, and it was 8v9. So I had to play one more playoff match than everyone else involved above me. On this little playoff bracket I'll show you here, but I actually need to bring these little moths out so I can blind you to the results. If I get rid of the table. Where are the moths? Oh yeah, I see the moths. And then the playoff bracket. Yeah, here you are. I had to play the play-in round. Oh yeah, I did plan on like going through all of my matches for the whole season, but then all the replays got Thanos snapped. Showdown lost all the replays up to round 1 of playoffs. I can't even show you round 1 of playoffs. It's gone. The whole regular season's gone, and round 1 of playoffs is gone. So I can only show you the last 3 games of the season, which I'm going to go through in a minute. But that's basically the playoff bracket and how it works. And I had to play one more match, and then because we were like the lower seeds, quarterfinal was against one of the higher seeds. Because I won my round 1 game and had to go off into the higher seeded games, and we're about to go through them. So here we go with our round 1 match. Not our round 1 match, our quarterfinal match in playoffs. Alright guys, so here we are with the first replay available to us. We had to play one play-in match to make it at this point, and we won that to get here. And now we're up against this Hard Rain team, which is the 2nd seeded team from regular season. They only lost 1 game all season, which is kind of crazy, and very, very threatening. They actually had 2 other Swift swimmers that didn't come, Bertic and Polyrath, but I was very worried about the Polyrath, to be honest. I've brought this team here. I've got a lot of tools to try and stall rain, including like fake out Kariyama, Sunny Day on my Bronzong, Spiky Shield on my Ogerpon, just to try and stall out rain turns. But we'll see how this goes. Their Zapdos is a machine. It's got like 15 kills or something, and it's just really hard for me to break. So I opt to lead with Raikou here in front of the Zapdos, and I feel like this is a pretty safe spot to substitute straight away, as they try and Toxic, which is huge, just a free sub. Then we get a Calm Mind off as they Volt Switch out, which doesn't break sub, so we still get a hit off here. They bring in the Mimikyu, and I figure I might as well Scold rather than Thunderbolt, because I could always get the burn chance. Looking for the Scold, break the Disguise, we don't get the burn, and it turns out to be red card, which forces that into Dragon Bolt, which is a nice tech from them. And unluckily they missed the Will-O-Wisp, but not a big deal because we're a special Dragon Bolt. But yeah, our Raikou was looking tough there at +1 behind the sub. They'd have to get Rain up and then get one of these 2 guys in to be faster than us, so we were looking good there. But now Dragon Bolt's in. I also just go for a hard Shadow Ball as they don't sneak and we just take out Mimikyu, which is very big because in my mocks with Matrix, shout out to Matrix for mocking with me, he was making my life hell with that Mimikyu, so I'm just very glad that it didn't sneak there, or he let it go early. I'm glad that happened. So in comes the big threat, Overquill, Terra Captain Overquill. Not sure if it's going to Terra here or not. It could. I'm Scarf, but I don't want to reveal that here either. Obviously, I'm locked into Shadow Ball. I don't want to just Shadow Ball into the Dark type, so I'm just going to hard switch out to what is my soft switch in Hariyama, as they do crunch, and we take that quite nicely. As they go hard Fortress and I Ice Punch, I was reading the Zapdos to come in there, to be fair, but the Rocky Helmet ended up doing more to us than we did to it, so we'll go hard Pult on their Stealth Rocks as they go Zapdos as we Shadow Ball, and that Shadow Ball did nothing. 22% from Pult, it's crazy. Like, I'm max special attack, I think. How is that taking so little? This has to be like really super Spadef Zapdos. So I figure I just go for it again, to just try and keep them low as they Volt Switch out, which is nice. This is what happens. As they bring in the Overquill again, I then go to the Hariyama. As they liquidate this time, does a little bit more, but activates our Citrus. But our switching is getting very weak, so this Overquill is about to become a real problem. I try to double out, expecting them to go either Fortress again or Zapdos. But they just stay in and crunch, which is huge. It does so much damage, lowers our Spadef. So now I'm sat here thinking, right, do I really want to keep switching in front of this Overquill and taking more damage? Or should I just get some damage off here? I thought about this for a long time, whether I wanted to T-Bolt or Scold. Knowing that they're not choice locked because they changed their move here. Like, both would do a lot of damage. I think T-Bolt would put it in range of my Dragapult, Draco. So I go for that, but I was really contemplating the Scold for the burn chance as well, because burning this would be huge. I opt to go for the T-Bolt. As they Terra ground right in front of me, and I do nothing. Like, honestly, the play was to sub there. That way I could see what their play would be, and maybe lure the Terra, so then I could make a better decision and Scold next turn. But yeah, I dropped the ball there and T-Bolt right into the ground type as they kill me with Crunch. And Raikou was such a huge threat for me. It was so good into these 3. And even Fortress. I have to bring an Ogerpon and threaten that with a Horn Leech, and I go into the Fortress again and just take more damage with Helmet again. A Spiky Shield here, thinking he might try and Gyro Ball. But no, he Volt Switches, so I Encore that Volt Switch because I didn't want him to change his mind and actually go for the Gyro Ball. I Encore the Volt Switch to force it out. And now they get to bring in the Pelipper. I then switch to Zong because I know I've got Sunny Day on this. I could probably waste some turns as they go hard Fortress. I then get my rocks up because this could help chip down the overquill. As I do go overquill here, but I'm taking not a lot from rocks now. They SD up, which is so scary. I just thought I'd EQ for chip, but that is actually now Draco range. So I'm happy to let this go here to allow Polt to come in. He probably thinks he's going to win from here, right? Got the +2 overquill up in the rain. I bring in the Scarf Polt. And we have to land our Draco, and luckily we do and take it out. But like, the fact that he just stayed in there was huge. I was thinking maybe he goes Fortress. But the fact that he stayed in there, not expecting the Scarf. They get to bring in the Super Speed Zapdos, which I have to switch out on. I go into my Moth as they roost up. And then I get the QD off. They Toxic me, which is obviously not great. I found Moth has been very prone to getting Toxic like all season. It's really annoying. So now +1, I'm thinking he's got his like an Ice Resist right here, so he might go hard into it. So I'm going to Terra Electric Blast, but they stay in and take less than half from +1 Moth. That's crazy. This thing is like max Bidef, honestly. As they Volt Switch out into the Fortress, and now Terra Blast Electric is free, so I might as well go for it, and we take out the Fortress, which is pretty nice. They can now go Pelipper. From this range, I know Ice Beam is actually going to kill after Rocks damage. The Moth actually did Moth things and took out a good chunk of his team, you know? Like it took the Fortress to Pelipper and did a chunk back to Zapdos. Now the bundle comes in and it's booster speed. And I've calced a +1 for Def at this range. He actually has to land a Hydro. Like Freeze Dry, Ice Beam isn't killing me. He has to land a Hydro right here. Which is pretty funny that he's in the position that he has to land this Hydro, or else he just loses probably. Because the next Toxic actually does kill me anyway, so he'd be Zapdos against the world if Frostmoth goes down here, if Bundle goes down here. But he does land his Hydro, and that takes us out. And now we can bring in the Scarf Dragapult and threaten this with the Draco or T-Bolt. I go for the T-Bolt, and it's just so little to the Zapdos. Literally 19%. 19% is ridiculous. That's a neutral hit. 19%. I figure I can make the Hariyama sack here, and then bring in Ogerpon, and that's a free Ivy Cudgel. So bring in the Yama as they roost up annoyingly. I can Ice Punch here, so they have to kind of kill me, so they go for the Hurricane. Do take me out, and I can bring in the Cudgel guy. And then obviously Cudgel's just free here because this thing's so Spadef that there's no way it's got enough Def to live a Cudgel. And this thing would die to Cudgel. So Cudgel's absolutely free here. He has absolutely no play to make. We killed a Zapdos. And I can't be Toxic because Cudgel doesn't make contact. If you didn't already know, there you go. Cudgel doesn't make contact. In comes the Bundle. He has to attack me here. Well, I have to stay in. I can't make any stupid switches. Because what if he's like sub? I have to just attack with Horn Leech and let him kill me. As he goes for a Hydro. Like, if you got a nice move, you should have gone for it because that'd definitely kill me. You could have just missed your Hydro right there. Everyone goes down. And then comes the Polt with the Scarf. Be able to finish this off with a T-Bolt. And we win our quarterfinal match 1-0. GG to my opponent. This rain team was really hard to prep for. And that Overquill was such a threat. Like, I think if he didn't just stay in and let it die to that Draco, I wasn't beating it because he'd know I was Scarf then and he'd never ever leave it in again, but he just happened to leave it in that one time. So yeah, on to semi-finals. Alright guys, here we are with the semi-final match up against Zeroga21, and his little big problem is his team name. We actually played them in regular season and lost. We got quite badly hacked by his Umbreon clicking T-Wave on every goddamn one of mine, and it just kept full power on me, so this is a rematch. However, I did mock quite a lot of this with my buddy Stu, and Stu literally beat my dick off every damn time. I did not win a single fucking mock. Like, honestly, I was very depressed going into this match. I was like, fuck it, let's just get this over and done with. I'm going to win. And here is the matchup here. He doesn't bring the Umbreon, which is kind of huge, because that thing was bothering me in mocks, because it's so hard to try and like break through Umbreon when he's got like a Lando and Espeon or Toxapex he could switch in, basically. That was what I was really struggling with. But he doesn't bring it, which is huge. And I choose to lead off with Pheasant because I thought I could pretty much just U-turn off anything. I didn't expect him to lead Espeon because that's his Terra Captain, by the way. I thought he'd save it for later, maybe because he was Scarf last time. He caught me with a Scarf Terror Blast into my Dragapult last time. But I left Pheasant. I'm a very, very bulky Pheasant. I pretty much calc here that I could live anything, Psyshock or Psychic, as long as it wasn't like Specs or Terror Psychic. So I opt to stay in, thinking maybe he'll overpredict, maybe he'll start setting up or something. So I just stay in. As Psyshock can do 91%, which is bad, but we do, however, see that as Life Orb. I'm no longer afraid of a Scarf Espeon. So I get the U-turn off. I don't get the Toxic Chain off, annoyingly. But now we've got Pult in against Espeon. This thing can still Terra, so I don't just want to click Shadow Ball and then it end up being like Terra Dark or Terra Normal or something, and I don't kill it, and then I just lose my Pult instantly. So I don't want to do that. I just click U-turn here. As they do switch out onto Toxapex, this big bitch is a problem, a real problem. We get the U-turn off and bring back in the Pheasant. I just want to heal it up. I want to use this chance to roost up, because it can't really touch me. It can Scold. It's doing 13%. After the Black Sludge is like really not a problem, so I can just U-turn again. Maybe I could have roosted once more here, but I want to get in the Raikou and start threatening this thing as they Scold, and they do instantly burn me, so that's a bit of a problem, but it's better than being Toxic, I think, actually, at this point. Now, he's got 3 very good switches into Electric Move here, either the Lando, the Cyclizar, or the Trev, so I don't click Electric Move, I opt to click Toxic here right in front of the Poison type. Really kind of expecting Lando more than anything else. But they go hard into Trevenant, and I get the Tox off, which is kind of nice. Actually, very nice. I don't switch into this Mon at all. I opt to go for Volt Switch just for that little extra bit of chip, and I go back into the Fizz Death Pheasant. As it Hone Claws up, like, this thing instantly became scary, but, like, it's setting up. Isn't too much of a problem when I've got the Toxic off, but it's still going to get some big Goober hits off. I calc that a +1 Poltergeist still shouldn't kill. Like, even, I think I calc Life Orb +1 Poltergeist shouldn't kill me if I roost here. So I'm just going to roost to get that extra turn of Toxic Chip on this thing. I'm back to full health. They do hit the Poltergeist, and yeah, it does a fucking chunk. Obviously, I can't do that again. I don't think Moonblast would even kill from here, but I had to kind of go for it, because say it does stay in, at least it would die to Toxic afterwards, is basically what I'm thinking here. So I do just go for the Moonblast, but they go hard packs, which is fine with me, because that just gives me another chance to heal up here. Like, not a problem. I can just roost up once again, right in front of this Toxapex's face. As they go for another Scold, they could start getting burns on me, which would be a little bit annoying to neutralise my Black Sludge, but not the end of the road. I took this thing here because I don't want it Toxic in on my Switch, which is what it tried to do. As I U-turn, and now I'm expecting another Scold. As I go into the wrong Zong, I'm actually a Choice Specs Zong here, because I was expecting Umbreon, I wanted to trick it. I'm Psychic, Trick, Stealth Rock, some other shit I can't remember now. But yeah, my only attack is Psychic. I opt to Trick here, I think. Like, I don't think it stays in. They go to the Trevenant, so I give it the Specs, and I get a Custap Berry, which is interesting. This thing was Custap Berry. I'm thinking, like, if it was Harvest Custap Berry, could it just keep doing Custap if he's lucky enough? That'd be crazy. If it was low enough health and just kept going Custap, like, priority move, that'd be insane. We bring in the Fizz Death Pheasant. He knows he can't kill this thing. He does, unfortunately, miss the Poltergeist, which is probably going to do about 40-odd%. Not the end of the world. Not really like a huge Haxie play there, but I probably would have just roosted in its face if it did land anyway. In comes this. I predict that this isn't Scarf, like, basing how his team is very, very stally. And I just go for the U-turn, because I should be faster, and hope for the Toxic Chain to come off, which it does, which is pretty huge. Getting a Toxic on this is very nice. As we bring in the Bronzong, and he gets Rocks up. Here, do I just get my Rocks up? He U-turns out into the Urshifu. Oh, and I actually just hard trick in front of the Lando. I figure taking its item away would be better than anything, but they actually switch in the Urshifu, and we take its Scarf, which is absolutely huge. We give it a Custap, but we take its Scarf. So now, like, Raikou looks great into this team now. Like, only Cyclizar is faster than it. I've got Scold on deck for this. After a bit of chip, Scold's going to start hurting. Like, literally only Cyclizar standing in Raikou's way. Pult also not afraid of Scarf. I know this isn't Scarf. The Espeon, I know Urshifu isn't Scarf. I know Lando isn't Scarf. Like, I'm very comfortable in this position right now. He U-turns out into the Cyclizar as I just click Psychic in front of the Bronzong, and from that damage I can tell instantly that it's Assault Vest. So bringing the Pheasant as they just hard U-turn out. I thought they might knock off, but they hard U-turn back into the Espeon. This time, even though I U-turned last time, they don't. I guess they know Psyshock would kill me, so I have to hard swap here. And they start setting up Calm Minds, which is a bit scary. But I've got the Scarf on me. I'm not even faster than this after a Scarf. As they Power Gem with +1 Power Gem, Life Orb +1, in front of Zong, which seems crazy, but I get it. It was to catch Frostmoth coming in, because Frostmoth being a absolute Spadef tank could probably come in and take the hits from this, but not an X4 attack on +1 Life Orb Espeon. That's why he's gone for that. I understand it. But now I've tricked it. The next move it clicks, it's locked into, and it goes for Draining Kiss, which is okay with me, I think, as I Psychic with the Life Orb and kill myself, which is funny. But now that I know it's locked into Draining Kiss, I go into the Frostmoth because I should wall this pretty handily as they go packs, and I get the QD off. I Terra Electric here and go for the Terra Blast. I don't see them hard switching to Lando now that we know it's not Scarf. This isn't Scarf. This isn't one at all. This thing, it has to Toxic here or Haze, is what I'm expecting. So I go for the Terra Blast. I see that this is very Spadef. To only be taking 79, this is like very Spadef. And they do get the Toxic off, which is very annoying. I'm on a timer here. I have to start making predictions here. At this point, like, without Toxapex, Polt and Raikou just go crazy, I think. Like, well, Raikou goes crazy anyway, but he needs to save this. Like, a read here from me is a lot safer than a read from him. If I want to read him to switch and go for Ice Beam, because Ice Beam's going to kill Espeon, it's going to kill Lando, I think it would kill the AV Cyclizar. Obviously his regen, so it's probably back to 100%, but Ice Beam is a lot safer. It's a lot safer from me than him, because if I make the read and I'm wrong, it's not the end of the world. I just lose like a turn of my Frostmoth being alive. If he makes the read and he's wrong, he loses his packs and this match becomes very difficult for him. So I go for the Ice Beam as they go Cyclizar and we just OHKO out, which is huge. They then bring in the Espeon, which is still faster than me, I think. Oh yeah, because I gave it a Scarf. Yeah, it's definitely faster than me. Power Gem Draining Kiss isn't going to do too much. They could Terra into either Rock or Fairy to boost that attack, but or even Psyshock. Psyshock's what I'm expecting, and the Psyshock does nothing. And a lot of people were shocked by this because they thought Psyshock would hit on the Fizz Def side, but read the print. Ice Scales doesn't double my Spadef, it halves incoming special attack damage. So actually, even though Psyshock targets defense, it's coming from a special attacker, which means Ice Scales halves the damage. So that's how that works. A lot of people were expecting Psyshock to just goob me there, but it doesn't, and we killed that with a Terra Blast. That's 2 for Frostmoth. We're on a timer here, as we know. I've got the next lot of damage is doing 25%, so any kind of hit. Because I knew this was a Scarf set, I've tricked it, it was Scarf. I wasn't really expecting Aqua Jet here at all. And I'm kind of thinking, if I can get one hit off here, I might as well go for the Ice Beam read on Lando. Rather than just getting Toxic and then probably dying next turn, he'll switch again back to the Pex. Or it would be a 50-50, but if he switched again, I just go for the Ice Beam because it's going to do like 45% to this Urshifu if he stays in. And then that puts it in like Dragapult range, Ogerpon range, even Pheasant range. Like, I'm very, very comfortable just to click Ice Beam here. As they go hard Lando and we just fucking goob that as well. That's a 3rd for Frostmoth. Terra Captain Frostmoth, too strong, too strong. But the reads were insane here. Obviously, the Terra Electric's just free here. And we pick up the kill on the Toxapex as we go down to Toxic. So Frostmoth put in a fucking shift. An absolute fucking shift. Took out, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. With a 1 QD, which is pretty huge. And that's pretty much all thanks to Zong's tricking about. Being able to trick you to lock you into one move and trick the Scarf off of you. It made Moth so much more threatening. My only electric move here is actually Volt Switch, so I have to go for it. It just doesn't kill, so like, oh shit, I've got to go Polt here. And they go for the CC, which is funny. And we kind of both forgot here, I think, that he was Custap Berry. And he hits the Ice Spinner, but it doesn't kill, because I'm actually quite bulky on my Polt. And we get the T-Bolt kill to win the semi-final 4-0. Kind of a big surprise. I don't think many people expect me to win that. I didn't expect to win that going into it after I lost like all my mocks, but just the Moth and the reads in the game actually like won me that for sure. And Moth showing why it's the best mascot in this league. Being the only mascot to make it to 2 finals across the 4 divisions in this league. So let's go Frostmoth. On to the final. Alright then guys, here I am for the grand final. of the Plasma Division of PWC Season 9. Doing post commentary because I was far too nervous to do live commentary. I just find it easier with showdown replays to do post. This matchup was scary. Drunken Pig's been pretty much on a rampage all season. I think he lost one game. But I had noticed through looking through the data that he brought 4 guys to every damn match this season, and they were Weird Air because he has to, as his Terra captain. Then Meowscarada, Prim, and Annihilate came to every game. So I knew I had to prep for those 4. And then I thought about, I think Claude was his next move used, and I felt like Claude makes sense versus me as well. And then the last one I was kind of looking at Jirachi or Talonflame. Talonflame could have come. But it was nice not to see it, so now I can just get my spikes up. There's no removal here, I noticed straight away. My whole game plan revolves around chipping down that Meow so I can set up my Adrenaline Orb Diggersby. That's right, I'm Adrenaline Orb, so when that Weird Air comes in and intimidates me, I go +1 speed, and then I Swords Dance up so that I'm faster than everything but this guy or the Talonflame, and I can just quick attack them. It's pretty much my game plan. I've got Scarf Poke just in case some of these things are Scarf. Prim, Annihilate, Meow. Got a Helmet Fez just to try and shit that Meow down. Ceaseless Edge, Sacred Sword, Flip Turn, Toxic, Samurott. I want to try and catch the Prim of a Toxic. This Samurott being from Hizui gets access to Toxic, which is nice. The Moth is just bulky U-turn, defog. I'm not even quivering up because somebody brought Mirror Her Prim in mocks, and that's a big no-no from me. So we're not quivering up here. And yeah, Scarf Bolt, and then just 4 attacks Ogre because it does pretty well here. So my lead, I'm looking at the lead here, and I think the only thing that doesn't lose to like Meow is Fez, because Meow, Goobs, Samurott, and Diggersby. There's a lot to Frosmoth because it's not got very good Fizz Def. If it's banded, I don't think I take a Sucker Punch. I've got a lot of defense on this, but I don't think I take a Sucker Punch. And you can just U-turn out on my Sturdy guy to break my Sturdy. So Fez was kind of the only reasonable choice for me for leads here. It would only really suck versus Jirachi, I guess. So, and Claude, but we would just U-turn out on Claude. So they do lead the Meow, as expected. I just U-turn here because, you know, if they stay in, I'm gonna get a good hit off. If they pivot themselves or hard switch, I get momentum initiative. So we see the U-turn, we get that nice helmet chip. That's one more hit away from being in +2 quick attack range from Diggersby. Out comes the Jirachi. We get a nice U-turn off, quite bulky from that damage, and then we see his lefty, so I'm not afraid of it being Scarf anymore. So if I do get my Diggersby set up, I don't have to worry about Scarf Jirachi. I know Prim probably comes in here, but I just want to start getting up my spikes to start getting this damage off because there's no removal. I just want to start getting these edges off as they U-turn and do a lot. That does a lot. 34% is ridiculous. Ceaseless Edge. Does a nice chunk to be fair, and we get our spike up. Now I am Roselli Berry. This was so that I could get an edge off, live a Moonblast, and then Toxic this. But because of that massive U-turn chip from Jirachi, I don't live a Moonblast at this point, so I just flip out here just for that extra little bit of chip and go into my Frosmoth, my Spadef as they Aria. They predicted me to go to I don't know, what's my fairy resist? I guess Fez. Yeah, I'm not Quiv, I'm just U-turn. But I actually go first, which is a little bit awkward. Now I'm looking at my switch-ins. I don't want to take a big hit on Poe, Diggersby, Samu, or Fez, because I need Fez healthy for that Meow. So I kind of have to go back to Samu here. Like, I feel like if it went down here, it's done its job. I've got a spike up. But they actually flip, which is nice. That means I get another turn out of this Samurott. So the Annihilate now comes in and takes spike. Don't see lefties. That's big here because, you know, most of the bulk upsets are lefties. So now I am fearing Scarf from this thing, and I'm looking at my options for Scarf. And if it U-turns, I'm gonna spot a Bother. But I figure Pult's okay. You're not gonna go for a Ghost move here as a Dark type, right? So I think Pulp's okay. If they do U-turn, they probably go to Prim, but I can just U-turn out on them. So I go Pulp, I stay EQ, and do 51 fucking percent. I count that to be banded. It has to be banded. I obviously find out after the match that it is banded, which is tricky for me because I don't kill this in one. I'm a physical Scarf Dragapult. I've got Psychic Fangs to try and catch like these two, Claude and Annihilape, but it has for the Ghost move, so Weirder could come out. So I'm gonna U-turn here as they hard switch to Clodsire, which is good for me. This is the opportunity I need for Diggersby to start setting up. Diggersby's in. I'm gonna Swords Dance, and I'm thinking like the best switch in is probably this thing to Intimidate me, or Meow to take the EQ. But if I SD up, Quick Attack is a very good option for me. Worst case scenario is they just go hard into the 8, because until I get that Orb pop, I am not faster than Annihilape. So they do bring in the Weird Air, and here we go. We get our Adrenaline Orb popped off for +1 speed. We Swords Dance to get ourselves back to at least +1 after the Intimidate. +1, I know +1 Quick Attack isn't enough to take out this Meow from here, even after a Spike. So I SD again. And I gotta say, from this point on in mocks, Diggersby just cleans every version of this guy's team from this range. But what we do end up seeing is Roar. So our Orb's gone, 2 Swords Dances off, gone. But luckily we get Samurott in, which I think is a pretty good option, because I can just get up another Spickle here with the Ceaseless Edge. I'm not worried. This Prim's getting... Oh, I didn't actually edge here, because I'm crazy. I Toxic here. Oh yeah, I guess Toxic's a good play, because his Weird Air, he has been running the like Agility, Sword Power kind of stuff, so I was worried about that. So I figure I go for Toxic here, and it catches Prim if it does come in. From this point, with the Toxic Chip, and if I get another Spike up, this doesn't come in again very well on anything. So I just decide to sack my Zoro, the Samurott here, and go for another Edge, just to get another Spike up. Because, you know, 2 Spikes up now. The next Toxic Chip's doing 12, so another Edge would kill. But they actually flip out, which is crazy, because I don't know if they come in again. If they switch in on 2 Spikes and take Toxic, I don't know that they come in again. So where are my Spikes? Why are they not on the floor? Anyway, Meow comes in, we go hard to the Fez because that's our switch in. They knock off this time. They're fed up with that helmet. They do take another bit of chip. They're now down to 51%. There are 2 Spikes on the field, 100%. Yeah, Spikes. Yeah, okay. So they knock off. This is a free pivot for me here. I can just U-turn freely here. They have to switch out. They take loads more chip. They're down to 64% on Jirachi. As I bring in the Mask, the Ogre Pollen Cornerstone, one of my powerhouses all season is here. And I'm just going to start clicking buttons because I'm offensive. I'm just clicking buttons. We go for knockoff. It kills. I thought this might have lived because I thought it was quite a bulky set from the U-turn damage from Fez. But it turns out it's a very Spadef Jirachi. We find out after. The knockoff just lays this out, and we're 1-0 up. I've got my Sturdy still intact. In comes the Annihilape. Like I said, I know this is banded from the last time it came in and hit my Dragapult with Earthquake. I've got my Sturdy. So I'm a little worried about Drain Punch, because say I do a big hit off on them and they Drain Punch me, they probably get it all back. But Power Whip is definitely a good roll to kill. I don't know this thing's bulk, but Power Whip's definitely a potential kill here. We just hit the Power Whip, and oh my fucking god, it just kills. It just kills. We've still got our Sturdy intact. And we've picked up 2 KOs. In comes the Weirder to Intimidate me. I'm not set up or anything, so I'm not really worried about Roar. I think... what do I do here? I hard out to the Samurott. Because I can hit this with a Ceaseless Edge. I don't really know what they want to do here. But they Terra Steel and EQ. Doesn't kill us. So now we get another turn to hit them. I could get up another Spike, but I've got... I don't know if I got 2 or 3 up. I can't even remember. But I've got Sacred Sword on this. So we get a nice big hit off on the Weird Air as they They turn out to be Rocky Helmet and finishes off with an EQ. Samurott goes down. In comes Mogo again. This is a free kill, I think, into like anything. I could have just cudgeled, I guess, but I thought Claude was coming in. So I just go for the. I thought they might cycle the Intimidate. That's what I was thinking actually. They sucker and break my sturdy, but the Rocky Helmet would have anyway. So we're actually down to like 64% just from picking knockoff on that like 2% weirder. And we're looking at a great position here, like a phenomenally good position here. This thing's so low it dies. This thing is definitely not breaking through Fez, or it's going to be in quick attack range very soon from Diggersby. I hard swap out. Oh no, I don't. I knock this off. I knock it off to knock off his healing. I didn't want it getting that like steady Black Surge recovery. As they counter and kill Ogerpon, which is pretty cool tech. But that's actually better for me in a way, because now Diggersby is in. This thing, nothing can switch in. Like, this thing doesn't switch in. This thing doesn't switch into an EQ and then quick attack. You don't take an EQ. So I just go for the SD here. As the Earthquake, they could Toxic me, but I think there's not enough time left in the match for a Toxic to try and stall me out like that. So I just EQ to finish off this Clodsire right here. Prim comes in, takes those spikes. I quick attack just in case it's like Aqua Jet for whatever reason. I don't know if like Aqua Jet plus Sucker Punch might finish me off. And then that takes loads of spikes. That must have been 3. I can't remember if I got 3 up or not. Whoopsie, I'm sorry. But then we quick attack for the kill, for the win, for the championship. We are the PWC Season 9 Plasma Division champions. Like, Diggersby was the plan, like, through hazards and pivoting and helmet chip to get Diggersby in a position to sweep. Didn't quite get to plan with that roar. That was a good play from them, but it came in the end and got 3 body bags, and so did Ogerpon. Ogerpon took out the first 3. Diggersby took out the last 3, and we are champions. I've been moaning about not winning a chip for quite a while, and now I've just gone on 1-2 in like the space like 2 weeks, so I'm buzzing, absolutely buzzing. GG to my opponent, they've had an incredible season, but I felt like my game plan here, like, really, I'm glad they didn't bring Talonflame. Really, that helped. The spike damage was huge for the chip that like Ogerpon needed on like Annihilate and Jirachi. They were actually huge. Even though like Samurott went down, it did a lot of work getting like the Toxic off, the Sacred Sword off, and the spikes damage. Very huge. I'm buzzing. I'm so happy. Like, if you want to leave a like, leave a comment of what you thought of my playoff movie, you can. I might just do a little. No, I won't. I'm just going to talk about my team in general. Like, I've got, do I still have it here? Yeah, I do. But it's behind. Hang on. There we go. There it is. There's our team. And yeah, like, obviously, I had to bring Frosmoth to every game because it's my captain, and it's been phenomenal. Like, I've had a lot of Quiver Dance sweeps and like just punching holes in teams. When you can terror away those 2-4 weaknesses, it's just an animal. Also, Dragapult came to every game just because it's Dragapult, you know? The speed of it and the offensive presence is amazing. I think I ran Dragon Dance once. And then I think I ran Scarf 4 times. Because people just love to bring Scarf for Dragapult. And you know, if you chuck a Scarf on your own, then they're like, oh fuck, I'm still not faster. So that worked for me sometimes, especially against the Rain team in playoffs. That was huge. Yeah, obviously Poach was huge. Samurott, a bit hit and miss throughout the season. It was very good in this final. It didn't got an awkward speed here, isn't it? But it was good. It was good. But not quite as amazing as I was expecting. But Ceaseless Edge is a nice move for sure. And having those like priority options with Sucker Punch and Aqua Jet is nice. Raikou, Solid Mom, kind of like easily walled by a few like obviously ground types with any like water resist, or like that Clodsire. I didn't bring it because I don't know what it was. I can't remember if I looked at the paste or not. I haven't actually checked. But like something like Clodsire, that's a ground type with water absorb, just absolutely walls Raikou. It was still very nice. Ogerpon was insane. Ogerpon was really strong. This thing, like, yeah, it can't hold an item. If it could, it'd be broken. It was so good. It was so good for me, Ogerpon. Like, 30's quite nice on it, to be fair. I used, like, Spiky Shield, Taunt, Spikes. I used a lot of support moves on it sometimes, but yeah, just Cudgel's like kind of the best rock move in the game, right? Like the strongest won't miss rock move, so it was very good. Diggersby, obviously seen in the final here, but actually, I think Diggersby had 2 games where it went off. Other than that, I think I only brought it to like 3 or 4 games. And I love Diggersby, but I just couldn't see the matchup for it here a lot of the time. Fez is very strong, I think. Like, I used it defensively. I think you always do, but like, I used it as a wall most of the time because you can just roost off like any damage that gets on it, and you can just get Toxic off on things. I didn't get this game, but I did in my semi-final. I got a couple of Toxic Chains off, which were huge. Hariyama, I traded it in after like week 2 or week 3 or something. But yeah, it was very strong. I brought it to like 2 of my playoffs games actually, I think. But like, it's stronger than you think. I was just running like Citrus Berry a lot of the time because you hit it and then it heals up and it's not a 2-hit KO anymore. So it's like Diggersby, Hariyama was really good in that respect. Frogzone I brought a lot. My team sorely needed ground immunities. Like, I felt like a lot of the time I was struggling against solid ground types. But yeah, Zong was huge. Zong was huge. Swanna didn't come to a game. Unfor it. I did. Yeah, shite in it. I think I just drafted it to make my type chart look nicer, so I had another ground immunity. Magmar did come to a couple of games. I think 2 or 3, but obviously not the strongest. I didn't get a single flame body all fucking season. But yeah, I didn't really play with a fire type at all this season. I just used like flamethrower pole. I didn't even know if I actually brought that often. I just didn't bring fire coverage much at all. But there's the team. That's the fun I've had with the team. We finished with a record of 8-4 because we went 4-4 in the regular season. Not great. And then won 4 playoff games. So finished on 8-4, take the championship home. And there you have it. Leave a like, leave a comment, and we'll be back next season, maybe? Question mark.